Welcome, Mochismo Eugene. Another live video here. I'm going to talk about the hobo narcissist for a little while. I'll give a couple minutes to see if we get somebody to come in. If I get one guest, I'll start talking a little bit. I never give heads up when I'm going to do this, so that's part of the fun, I guess. Unscripted all the way. Now we're going to talk about that hobo narcissist. 15% on the battery. Let's see how far I get. So I won't be long, guys. That's for sure. I want to say good morning to everyone. Hope you're doing good. I've been experiencing some tension behind my neck right here, guys. I want to go to the doctor and see what this is all about. It's been that way for a long time. If I had to guess, maybe a year or so. I got hit by a whole car last year or a year before, so and all the other injuries, near death experiences. So that might could have contributed to it. So yeah, a lot of tension. And I believe it really want to know the truth. I think all the overwhelming stress of being involved and engaged with narcissistic energy, it does cause our body to go into a lot of stress, have aches, pains, and just unexplained uh, sorenesses. Uh, go through moments of depression, and I don't even like to use that word, but I don't like to pretend that uh, I'm that strong because in our culture, we don't readily accept that we should get help. That's been my experience from from a personal standpoint. You minorities listening, man, if we need help, don't be afraid to ask. We're not as strong as we think. It'll alleviate a lot of the aggression that we have in our life for sure. Listening to other people, taking advice, talking to some people with sound that have a sound advice for you. It'll pay off, pay dividends. It'll really elevate your character as a human being. Of course, that's any race, but all right, we're going to talk about the hobo narcissist. I'll probably just go ahead and go in on it because I only got 15% battery. Got a few things to take care of today, as always. The hobo narcissist. And I'm going to go in, you girls, as I've seen it in my experience and from an observant standpoint. You meet the guy. Most often you'll meet him because of some superficial connection. And I like to always talk about the dread guys because, no pot shots here. Guys with dreads, hey, much respect. Wish I could grow them. No, not really. But uh, I admire the dreads. But I'll give you this as a case in point. Woman, you might be attracted to a guy because he has the wicks, the dreads. You get with this guy, you meet him. He may be in college, not living on campus, or he tells you he's in school. You meet, level playing field. You're in school. He's a quiet guy, covert narcissist, by the way, hobo narcissist too. You meet him, you connect. I found that a lot of women they love and gravitate to men that are very quiet and reserved. I would implore you, women, if he's not talking when you meet him, get him to talk. I mean, get him to talk more than he's ever talked before. Get him out of his comfort zone so he can begin to speak to you. You can understand what's going on within this guy. So you meet him, he has dreads, he's in school to some degree. What you don't know, well, what you do discover, he's living with a friend of his, a guy friend who has a girlfriend. He doesn't have a girlfriend. You meet him somewhere shortly, not long after you meet him. You know his situation. You have an apartment, you have a car. He doesn't have a car. You picking him up, you going out, you hanging out, you having fun, getting to know each other, sharing a kiss or whatever, a hug, who knows? things get serious. You may become intimate with him here or there. He's persuaded you to get in the sack with him, or you and him probably consummated that together. Uh, Shortly thereafter, somewhere or another, you don't really recall unless you really start thinking about it. You devised an idea. Why don't you come and move in with me since I'm always over there anyway? And you bring him into your apartment. He doesn't have but a few clothes. You find the need to go shopping. He's like, no, I don't need number two pair of pants and a shirt. You're like, no, no, no. You hook him up. You dress him to the nines progressively, not right out of the gate. Sometimes you may splurge because you semi trying to impress him because you make a decent amount of money. You don't live above your means. You get taking care of your rent. You got a car note, so you buy him stuff on the card. So he got drip now. You giving him the goodies. You got him drip. He giving you the you know what, and that's an equal exchange of sorts. Now you ask him, sidebar, is he's working? He says he's been looking. Blah 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 blah. You either help him find a job on the internet, or he tells you he needs to go and put applications in, but it's hard to get around on the bus. Or he takes the bus for the first few times out. You think he's looking for a job. You're taking his word. Ain't no reason to doubt him. So anyways, it goes on and on. And you find a need to offer your car to him. You really might not even know if he got license. You never ask him. It's just a perceived idea. You think he has license because he knows how to drive. You've even let him driven you around a few times in the car when you first met. Like men should drive, a woman should just sit back. So you offer. He's playing his part because he's what you call passive aggressive. You don't see the aggressiveness yet, though. He's passive. Anything you offer, he's turning it down because he's almost guaranteeing, knowing you as gullible as you are, you're an empath. You're gonna you're gonna insist. Don't worry, you ain't by yourself. I've been there. So you begin to offer your car to him so he can go and look for a job and just drop you off at work. Soon thereafter, maybe even the first time you let him use your car, he picks you up on time. Everything's lovely. Next couple times out, maybe around the third, fourth time, it's almost time to get off of work. You texting him, hey, I'll be off in 15 minutes. Are you almost here? Blah, blah, blah. He gives you an excuse. Oh, I'll be there in a little while. 3 o'clock comes, you clock out. You're calling him, you're standing out front. I don't see you. He's like, oh, I got held up. I'll be there in a little while. He don't give you specifics. You don't even ask. You say, okay, how long do you think? He says about 20 minutes. I got held up. You're like, oh, okay. You don't question. He pulls up an hour later. He's got your spare tire on your car, in your trunk, on your car. You get in the car, you kind of nonchalantly say, hey, what happened? He's like, yeah, I got held up. He's like, and you like, okay, all right, I get that. I'm talking about the car. What happened to the car? It's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. And you kindly say, no, I see it's a different tire on my car. What happened? You can tell me. He goes out his way to not tell you what's happening. So you continue to press, and he finally tells you, oh, I hit a pothole, trying to dodge a dog and had to use spare tire. That's why I was late. I didn't want to tell you. So he gives you this little spiel. You kind of fall for it. You fall back. Oh, okay, okay. I'll just get a new one. We'll get a replacement tomorrow. Something inside of you tells you that there's a whole lot going on that feels funny, but you dismiss it. So what happens with this? It goes on a down spiral from this point on because there's moments in this house that you see him, he's detached. He's always been quiet. So you just kind of play it off and not dismissive now. You're to the point now you're beginning to observe he's in this apartment house and he is so withdrawn. He may be into the video game. It's like he's living in the apartment by himself and you're not even in there. You're cooking dinner and you're bringing it, putting it on a coffee table. He's looking off at it. He looks off at it. He's eating and grabbing the remote control or the controller with one hand, not even a thank you. At this point, you realize something is drastically wrong. You have adopted a whole nother child. Something deep within you tells you this. You've adopted a grown ass child, and this is by design. He lured himself into your apartment by way of playing passive. And this has happened to a lot of us. I married a woman and took her and her autistic son in. So I'm not here to berate you, put you down for this. I'm just here to wake you up to yourself. This is the cycles that we always get caught up into, and we always do the same thing for long periods of time. Even being awakened in 2020, I attempted a relationship here and there that didn't pan out because of two reasons. I was aware and I was awake to a lot of the things that seemed so familiar, like deja vu. And I was able to readily disengage. Many times I kicked myself like, man, how did I even not know or see? Because there are a certain amount of feelings that you sort of exchange with a person once you begin to get to know them. As quick as it dissipated, the feelings you can't readily take back. So that's sort of the little thing that we do to beat ourselves up. But it's a learning process, and it's trial and error. So the hobo narcissist, that's one of the ways that they look. Now this video here is really uh, definitely gonna connect with a lot of people. I see two people watching. I don't see any visible. Okay, this is okay. This is something that's gonna really, really resonate with a lot of you women and men. You too, maybe if you're like me. Like I said, I took a woman in and I actually married her. And looking back, there was no real reason why I should have. And I'll tell you what she said when we began. She came out of her mouth one day. She said, "If we're gonna do this, let's do it. If we're gonna," and I like, do what? You know, this woman could not even say, uh, "If we're gonna get married, we should do it." It wasn't even like a conversation. It looking back at that, that was weird then, even weirder now. Looking at myself, like, how did I ever convince myself that that was an ideal, an authentic ideal? I had never heard nobody say something as unconcerned as that in my life. If we're gonna do this, let's do it. And in the way that she said it, looking back at it, that is exactly what she meant. If we're gonna do this, let's do it. I feel like you're fruit for the picking now. You've shown me time after time that I've abused you psychologically and systematic. I've hid these screwdrivers and all these little drill bits and stuff. And I see that you have tenacity. You won't stop. You're going to look for that tool until you find it. You're not going to even question that I hid it from you, unbeknownst to you. Yeah, you care about my autistic son. You're just the gulliblest person I've ever seen in my life. But what she didn't anticipate was kindness has a big price tag on it. See, the kinder you are in life, if it comes from a place that's real, God affords you clarity in the end. Clarity like you would never have been able to see on your own. Because if you're going at a situation with authenticity, you have no hidden agenda. That's like sheep going in the slaughter. And God calls us sheep. If your moral compass causes you to do things good towards people, you damn well better believe that's always going to work out for you. He says in the Bible, bruised but not destroyed. It goes on to say how we've been beaten and punished and downtrodden, but not destroyed. Nothing has been truer of uh, an empath and a chosen one, or a black sheep of a family. You've gone through so much, yet you're here to talk about it and tell the story. thereby bring other people out of the darkness. That's by design. So be grateful that you went through the destruction, you came out of it, so you can help assist somebody else to see their way. Because that's the whole reason why we're all here. That's why we're living, breathing, and existing to help other people. No other reason. And that's where the drive comes from because even when I don't want to do certain things like this, something compels me deep down inside of me. I got a word for somebody that the church is not going to give them. I got a word for somebody that this membership they got at the gym's not going to give them. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. So just hold on to those two things right there. You are chosen of God to do something great. And until you know what that thing is, just sit still and relax. God will make it known to you. I promise you that. So 16 minutes, the phone hasn't died. I don't want it to just abruptly die on me. So I'm about to take off. I got to go to physical therapy and finish my day out and do the things that normal people do. That being said, guys, take care. Bless.